Hey everybody, this is Keith Saarloos, and you are listening to Chopping It Up on 105.9 Crazy Country. And this is where we take about a half hour out of your Saturday morning and talk to someone local, talk to someone who is important to this valley, to this community, to everyone around us. And I am excited about our guest today. His name is Chris Kunkle. And Chris Kunkle is maybe a name you've heard before, but he's one of the most interesting people in the valley. His family legacy here in aviation and beyond has been a cornerstone, in all honesty, to the entire San Ynez Valley. And I just want to welcome you. Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Chris, let's kind of get into it. Let's chop it up. So your family has been in the valley for how long?
Since 1978 is when they moved here. They've been coming up for years before that, before they decided that they wanted to call this home out of the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, really. So you guys have been coming up since 78, but let's go back even further because the person I really want to talk about is your grandpa.
Yeah.
So your family, how long have you guys been involved in aviation?
So my grandpa, we'll go a little bit farther back. Yeah. My grandpa was out in Pennsylvania with his mom real early on, and his dad passed away. Mm-hmm. Well, it was the typical story that mom gets in the Chevy, puts the kid in the back and drives to LA pursuing a dream, right? Yeah. And so he comes out, they end up in LA. He goes to Beverly Hills High School, 16 years old, tries to join the National Guard. It was when the war was just trying to fire up.
So this is back in the 40s?
Yep, in the 40s.
Okay.
I guess this
30s and the 40s.
Late 30s.
Late 30s.
And his mom said that he could not join until he graduated high school.
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
So he graduated high school and joined the Air National Guard, and that's kind of where the aviation started. But I've heard stories, and he has paintings on his wall where him and his father are standing at the gate, at a fence, looking at airplanes in the early 30s, just dreaming about aviation, dreaming about flying.
Let's think about this. What year was Kitty Hawk? I mean, planes at this point were pretty new. I remember even talking to my grandpa and my grandparents, back in the 80s or whenever. And they said, oh, yeah, we'd be out in the field and a plane would fly over and everybody'd stop.
Yeah.
Because aviation was like, what is that?
It's kind of like our modern day space almost. Elon launching rockets out of here. Everybody kind of goes outside and still gets
I still do.
Yeah.
You just said that and gave me chills because it's like one of the coolest things that I love about the valley in general, right? When I was a kid in the, let's say the 80s, they said, we're going to be launching a space shuttle every couple of weeks. And that never really materialized, mm-hmm. right? And now where we live, it feels like they're launching something every other week, if not every week here.
Yeah.
So the aviation piece, your grandpa joins the Air National Guard. Aviation's been in the blood forever. And he joined the National Guard. Then what happened?
So they went off to... there's a little missing story. I don't have a lot in between the
dark
17,
ages.
Yeah, 17, 18 years old and about 20-ish years old. But he ended up going up in training up in Portland, Oregon area.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in another crazy story, is he used to come down and train at Hancock Field or Santa Maria Airport with P-38s. And that was in the early 40s, getting ready for World War II. They originally built that.
Yes.
That
this is
airport.
what I want you to talk about. So all those Quonset huts.
So that's Hancock Field.
That's Hancock Field.
And that was where Hancock College is now. It was just a big square piece of land.
Okay.
They moved over to the Army Air Corps Airport, which is now where I have our business.
Yep.
That airport was designed for a bomber base. So 25s and other bombers to practice and stuff. They quickly understood that the soil wasn't holding up to the heavy aircraft.
Okay.
So they made it a training base for fighters. So P-38s mostly.
Yeah. Is the P-38 the Mustang?
No, P-38 Lightning.
Lightning,
the twin engine airplane that Grandpa flew. They called it the fork-tailed devil because it was a really cool airplane. It had the guns right on the front, right between your legs, and you could see.
That's the one that you guys just had last year
at the Santa Maria or San Ynez Airport Days,
otherwise known as Kunkle Field.
Kunkle Field.
The way to go! Yeah. Now
transition. Now we're linking everything together.
I love it. Okay, keep going. By the way, I wanted to do this. I wanted to put this on the radio because I want to hear this whole story. So keep going.
No, it's pretty incredible. What this area. I mean, Santa Barbara was I believe that was either Navy or Marine base, mm-hmm. and there's all these Camp Roberts, all these airports just within a really close radius.
Yeah.
And so they'd come down here, and he'd fly into Santa Maria and do some training, and they would jump up and they'd come down here and pick on the Navy guys and dogfight. I mean, this was like barnstorming at its greatest, like never happened again.
Bunch
today.
of 18-year-old kids where they gave the keys to a brand new plane and they said, get ready to fight.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And so he spent some time in this area flying around. He was never based solely at Santa Maria, but he came down here and visited, whether they were bringing parts or training or missions or whatever, and then he'd go back. But he went over to overseas with for the invasion of Normandy. He was a little green, what we call, green for the flying hours and stuff. So they didn't give him that first day. He was itching. He wanted to go for that, the invasion, which is
81st anniversary last week, right?
Yes. 81st. So he was there for the 80th and a bunch more, but yeah, we'll keep going down the line.
Please talk about more of this. I'm leaning back now.
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
Ahead.
So he went back, trained. So 1944 comes along. They send him over to basically to London, and they pre-positioned for the raid. He didn't have the time in the seat, so they didn't choose him for the first day, so the actual D-Day invasion. Oh, wow. But the next day he was in the seat flying. Flying
D +1.
+1.
Wow.
And he was actually one of his squadron and a few others were the ones that set up that A1, which is the first airfield right on right south of Omaha Beach, and
really?
They just started working their way. I guess that would be east.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's a whole nother thing. Maybe we can get him in here one day to go talk.
I do want to talk
because I wasn't there for that, but I was lucky enough to go back for the 75th anniversary. We talked during that time, and with him and a few of my family members, and we spent 10 days just.
Tell me about that experience.
Well, I don't think there's anything more eye-opening and moving than going to see Europe or Normandy during that time.
Yes.
It's very misunderstood that the French don't like us. I think if you go to a major city, Paris, a few others, you're going to have that. But you go out in the countryside, and America is the hero.
We were there literally weeks after.
Yep.
Right. And I'm just getting chills, just honestly up my spine right now, just like remembering it. But as we were driving through those towns right outside of Normandy, I mean, there's so many. I've seen every World War II movie, right? I've seen the reenactments. I've watched Band of Brothers, Masters of the Air, all of it, right? And walking there and seeing it, and being in the church where a bomb went through the top of the church and.
Still there.
It's still there, and it broke the ground where the priests were going out and waving a white flag and grabbing whoever was injured in this little courtyard, dragging them in, giving triage to anybody, no matter what the uniform they were wearing, up until the point that a bomb went through the top of the church and didn't explode. Right? It's like chilling.
Yeah. And
when we were there, looking at. There were American flags and French flags on people's homes. Yep. And the gratitude was unbelievable.
You can't. I mean, we just talked about this. I was at an event with a bunch of warbirds and older people, older gentlemen, that were during that time or one generation after, which even they respect those guys even more because they actually saw what was going on, right?
Unreal.
And we were talking about how in the United States, you don't really. I don't want to say that we don't appreciate it.
We have Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
we have 9/11.
Exactly.
I mean, those are probably be the only two things of any comparable aspect. Like I've been to 9/11, I've been in the memorial, I've been to Pearl Harbor and seen those things. But for me, like what you're saying, going over there and standing in the cemetery while this is one of the most powerful moments of my life, and I hope I don't get choked up talking about it because I want to talk more about your grandpa. My great uncle John went and died in a town called Cherbourg, which is about 40 clicks north of Normandy, and he was D-Day plus 6. So on the 12th, he passed away. They shot a steeple that had a sniper in it, like basically the end of Saving Private Ryan. That's like John Sizemore is like that. When the steeple, they shoot the steeple with the sniper in it, and it falls down and kills John Sizemore. That's exactly how John Saarloos died. And going through that area and just standing there, John Saarloos wrote a poem. My dad, who's still with us, we both lost our dads, and my dad read that poem standing amongst all of the gravestones that had all of the sand rubbed into the thing so you could see it.
Yeah.
And my son was young, and I just remember when they were taking down the flag for the day, and playing taps every single day for 75 years when we were there, but now 81 years. And my son just instinctively took off his hat, put it over his heart, knew the gravity of the situation.
Yep.
And you could hear people blink.
Oh yeah.
Right. It was so 75 years, 81 years now, how heavy and unbelievable that is. And I constantly think about it, life is what it is, and people are divided and blah, blah, blah. But people ran to enlist to fight this great evil. And then went overseas, kissed someone they love goodbye, did not know if they were coming back, but they did it in the name of freedom and liberty. And I constantly think of my life. I know I'm talking too long, but when John passed away, we have a letter in our tasting room signed by FDR, and I read it all the time. And there's a line, though he may be gone, what he has done humbles the undertakings of most men. And when I see your grandpa at now 102 years old, sitting there at like Baker's table with a bunch of guys, hanging out, I can't help but like tip my hat to that guy, because everything we complain about today was given by those people.
Yeah. No, it's honestly, it's a moving trip. It's a tough trip. Going around, we were lucky enough to, he's in good enough shape that we didn't have to go on one of those tours or whatever. So we got to we threw him in a Citroen van, and we just drove and got lost and drove some more. And he's, we'd be driving down the road, and he's like, this is where we used to, stop these, these cars with supplies in it, and we'd pull the guy out and rough him up, and we'd steal his, cigars and all, and food and all that stuff. Because the rations were, it was tough, during that time. And so they'd go down and rough these guys up and steal stuff. And we were there, we're literally right there, doing it. And
right on that corner, we used to do this. Yeah. We were 18 with a gun.
Yeah. It wasn't even a story. It's not it's real. And so a lot of those stories happened throughout this, this 10 days that we were there. But the kind of the one thing that was really interesting and moving for me was when in the 60th anniversary, he was invited back by the government and the French government as well to get the Legion of Honor, which is their highest medal.
Yep. Whoa. He received the Legion of Honor medal? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Unreal.
In the 60th anniversary.
Unreal. So I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he has a Distinguished Service Cross and the French Legion of Honor, and then obviously the clusters and little things, the Purple Hearts and stuff that come with getting injured and all that. But in the 60th anniversary, he took a bunch of photos from when he was there, in wartime, and he went and found the farm that A1 was on. Went to the front door, knocked on it. The front door still has the bullet hole in the door. Opens up. They kind of communicate a little bit because they're very French.
Oh, yeah.
And they figure out that it's the same same generational family that owns that property. So they come over, they're like, come here. They pull him in, they take him over, and they pull off a picture off the wall, and it has a aerial photo of the airfield with his airplane in it. And it was on their wall. Unreal. And so ever since the 60th...
This is living history.
I know. Ever since the 60th anniversary, every time they go back there, they stay in there at that farm. They fly the American flag. They play taps. They have a reception for him. They invite all the local town, the township, and it's just unreal.
One of the things that jumped out, your grandpa's living it and getting to go with him and do that. The coins that they leave around. Do you remember the denominations and what they mean? It was like if you were a quarter. I'm butchering this, but it meant you were there and you served with that person at that place. A nickel means you knew them. A dime means this. A penny meant like you know who that person is. And it was like a change bank.
Yeah.
When we went for the 75th anniversary, you would stop by a monument and there would be $50, $100 in quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies just littering everything around.
And that's going down quickly because as we get older, they thought the 80th anniversary was going to be basically the last major anniversary, right? Because who's going to be here? These guys are like Grandpa. He's going to be 103 in October. This generations were weeding out. They're just getting old. And So yeah, if you know anybody that was in World War II, go and give them a hug and talk to them and get some stories out of them, because most of them are too humble to write a book or talk about it, or whatever. Same with my grandpa. I mean, he's never written a book, and he's done a lot of interviews, which has been awesome. But he just they did it because they knew it was the job. They had to get the job done.
But your grandpa's 103, and I've seen him over at one of my, I like going over to the Kunkle field, right? I do. I love it. I got, a couple, sometimes you're there and
Chris Wood
and everybody else. And you've been so nice to like throw my daughter in a plane one day and took her up and, flew the legal height off the ground. Yeah, there we go. All the way out to Point Conception. She goes, I'll never forget that day for the rest of my life. Yep. Right. What you guys have done in aviation is so inspiring. From your grandfather, your father, you, all the way down. It's a truly special part of this valley, and I think the legacy that your grandfather and your father and you have provided to this valley, and just the love of aviation, is something pretty special, because here we are in a little valley of like 14,000 people. But there is an airfield that feels alive. Right, you guys have done so much for that. All the hangars, know you guys were involved in all that process and building them all out.
In the late '90s, early mid '90s, my dad did most of those hangars out there. The bigger ones and later model ones. But,
yeah, and now you go out there, and it always seems like if you live in the valley and you look up, there's somebody up in the air.
That's kind of like what we've been doing. I mean, I'll start a little bit with Kunkle Field and how it got to be Kunkle Field. My dad, for 18 years, donated his time to the airport board. The airport's owned by the county, but ran by a nonprofit organization. So they're all just free guys, business guys that just care about aviation, care about the community, stuff like that. And they donate their time.
Amazing.
So he spent better part of his early career, when he came up here, and probably it would have been, the late 80s to late 90s. And, but that was just when it was transitioning from the county owning it to giving it over to the nonprofit, and they really did a good job. I mean, they took the airport, made it very profitable. Like the last couple of years of my dad being the president of the airport board, they gave they were giving scholarships away to the city or to the kids in the town. They had to live within the district. Two of them, Chris Pace, Amy Moore. Amy Moore is flying C-17s. Really? I believe she might correct me, but I think she was the first all-woman crew to fly the C-17 in Afghanistan. Chris Pace, he went to the Air Force Academy. He was flying U-2s when he retired, and now he's flying, I believe, FedEx or UPS. I mean, major life-changing events, right?
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing now is that the airport, as you guys have seen with this airport day, is they're giving scholarships away.
Yeah.
They're giving.
By the way, I'm putting Cash's name in right now.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, but they're giving 4 scholarships away
per year.
Per year. And just think about how that's changing.
Okay, so everybody who's listening right now, they're giving away 4 scholarships per year to who?
Only kids that are in our high school district.
San Ynez Valley High School
district. So
got it.
If you live in the district, you are eligible as a kids. Yes. You have to be going to high school. They have a review process. Essays, just a normal scholarship.
They want to make sure you want this.
Yeah, because I mean, the biggest thing is like it's not fair to give a scholarship necessarily to somebody that's necessarily not going to be able to move through the process, right?
Totally get it.
And so this year, since it is for a year, that's a lot for a small community like this. So I think maybe 1 or 2 of the scholarships this year went to furthering their education. So commercial license, IFR, different licenses. But this is major. I mean, the AOPA, EAA, all these major organizations, I don't even think give this many scholarships a year. I mean, this is awesome. And I mean, Central Coast Jet Center, my FBO, obviously legacy, or FBO is in fixed base operations. So our aviation business in Santa Maria. Yep. My dad started in 2003. I was able to, after my dad passed away, we were able to get all the ownership out of it. And now it's kind of it's a full Kunkle legacy now, but we're a huge sponsor for that as well. And Toyota Honda of Santa Maria, they wanted to donate in my dad's name, and so they donate to this area. So amazing. It's a really amazing, what they're doing, the airport for the community. I know it's
Lucas Malloy, who just graduated high school. I know he was one of the recipients, and his dad would call me and record his son, flying over the ranch or whatever, and goes, "There goes Lucas," and I was like, "Man, that is amazing."
Isa from San Fernando Rey Ranch. He's got his.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of kids that are getting it, and it's really cool. I mean, what I'm trying to promote here is that like whenever there's a noise complaint or whatever, just kind of think about think about like what it's doing. I know it inconvenience you for 10 seconds, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
but like there's a greater good going into this. There's people.
Listen, your neighbor's mowing their lawn. Just be cool.
Unless it's me. If it's red and white, I'm probably annoying you, but that's all right.
That is absolutely. I didn't know you guys are giving away 4. That is shockingly awesome.
Yeah, last year was 4. I think this year is 3, and then there was a couple. They're trying to figure out how it works because 4 is a lot.
A lot.
And so like.
And what does it entail?
A full pilot's license.
Full pilot's license.
About $14,000 to $18,000 worth.
So you are donating the education? I'm
donating. Yeah. So me personally, or
okay.
this,
no. I'm just personally.
It's cash, and then they go and we have people that they've contracted to do the training.
Yeah, and so does that cover fuel?
Everything.
That cover. Hold on. I'm going to go through a list here. So you're taking a high school kid who has never flown. They have their driver's license and they live in the district. Okay. They go through an application process, which you absolutely should for $14,000, right? And then you guys are donating the education time to get certified. You're donating the fuel. Mm-hmm. You're donating the actual aircraft to put these kids up in the air. Mm-hmm. And by the end of the program, they have a pilot's license.
Yep. So the San Luis Airport is writing the check for the whole thing. So it's 20 hours of ground, or 20 hours of dual instruction, 20 hours of solo ground instruction to get them to pass the written test. I've even talking with the airport because I think we should, give them some opportunities to get some supplies.
Sure.
Headsets, things like that, because not everybody can afford to go buy $1,000 Bose headset or whatever, And so,
jeez.
So it's like it's zero to hero in the course of how long you want to make it. Is it 3 months? Is it 4 months? I mean, the biggest thing is having to report back to the airport and get it done over a normal amount of time.
So to pull a little bit more into this, I have a friend of mine. His name's Thomas Hagstrom. His little program, his COVID program or COVID thing, was he went from having a driver's license and did exactly what you're talking about to becoming a commercial pilot. He went through the whole process, got up in the air, and now is flying commercially and is a commercial pilot flying for American Airlines. Yeah. So right now, from what I understood from him, and you can verify this or tell me I'm wrong, because I tell a lot of people this. If you have a high school senior or a high school kid, right, and they're looking at what they're going to do, because I am an unemployable person, right? Yep. It's like so are you.
Yeah,
it's true. That's true. But what a career! Because evidently, from what I understand, there's a 63,000 person pilot shortage right now in aviation. They're looking to fill 63,000 seats commercially to keep everybody moving when they go buy an airplane ticket and get them off the ground and to wherever they want to go to. And I think this is a fantastic opportunity for any kid who's like, a school's not for me, but I really like working with my hands and I like cars or I like planes and I'm really into this kind of a thing. It is such a great career path that you guys are giving to 4 people per year. 4 people per year for nothing.
Yeah,
You're basically giving them a job. All they have to do is show up, do a great job, work hard, do all the things that you're supposed to, and you have a career for life.
Yep.
What an amazing... I don't know another community that is doing that.
No, there isn't. I mean, I'm in it, and there isn't. And it's crazy because like we, if you went to the Air Force side of it, or if you go to the military side of it, you take your private pilot's license, you go get your degree hopefully real quick, in 4 years, and you go to the Air Force Academy. Mm-hmm. And you get chosen if you're one of those smart people,
right?
And you have a career in that. There's so many directions,
so many avenues.
And the cool thing about it is, if you prove yourself, I don't think the airport would have a hard time giving you a second, scholarship if you were really wanting to go. And that's the thing is like you get your pilot's license, you apply again the next year for your IFR, your commercial, these things, and you can keep going on to make yourself better and get yourself more suitable for the job, But back to you said about the career in airlines. I just talked to my buddy. American Airlines is going to hire 1,000 pilots by the end of this year, and then 500 pilots for the next 5 years because of just to take care of retirements. So it's
and you have removed the barrier to entry.
Yeah.
That's the key, right? If you're thinking about this, this seems like something that's out of reach to most people. Like if you look at a plane, people are like, "Who are those guys?" Immediately you go to some rich. Yes, exactly right. But on the other side of it, what you're talking about, and I hope everybody who's listening to this, right, is like if you have a high school kid that's in this district, in the St. Inez High School District, it's like go grab them, pull them out of bed, and say you need to apply for this program.
Yeah, and there's plenty of opportunities too. Like I know we're probably getting close on time, but you can go take like a orientation flight.
Sure,
it doesn't really. I think
see if it's for you,
and then apply for the scholarship. I mean, because you do your due diligence because you don't want to waste somebody else's opportunity.
Sure,
right?
Absolutely.
So make sure that it's something that you really feel.
Okay, you and I can talk for 5 hours.
Yeah,
I want to know about the movie that you guys did specifically and where they can find it, because you put together a project that I got to see and it literally brought tears to my eyes. So please talk about it a little bit.
Sky Angels. And so we've been on here once before just to really it was like a 10-second blurb about it. But Sky,
you got 10 minutes, go.
At heart, I'm a creative person.
By the way, plug your Instagram right now, because it is, of all the Instagrams that I follow, you are one that I do not have on mute because I want to see every little thing that you are doing. So
I appreciate it. My Instagram is Chris_Kunk, Kunk.
Okay.
Give us a follow. Just trying to.
It is
just
the
trying
best.
To make it out here.
Hold on. It is the best follow on Instagram because half the stuff you're doing, I'm like, is this legal? This is amazing.
Yeah, don't turn me in. This is a disclaimer. No,
right.
No, we have lots of fun and we're very safe and confident.
There we go.
Sometimes. But anyways, we if all you remember the floods in 2022, I guess it was.
Yep.
We had some friends just north of us, about 12 miles out in the backcountry here, that are homesteaders.
Yep.
And so Brian Davis and Deb Davis and the Codys.
Yep.
I mean, these are all local names. I mean,
Big
if you don't
names.
know, if you don't know these guys, you need to do some local research. But
local legends.
Yeah, local legends. Well, anyways, to get to the story real quick, is they were cut off from their house or living
from
society altogether.
Yes.
They have a 2 to 3 hour drive in and out of their location, their house, and their roads just got washed out completely. I mean, they had no access at all. So
and that's only maybe 8 miles from where we're sitting right now, but as the plane flies,
plane flies, yeah. So I mean, it's just right here. We're in California. We're in Central California, Southern California, some call it. And 8 miles away from us, there's people that are stuck out in the wilderness area. Well, a few of us, backcountry pilots, what we call ourselves, have made relationships with these families in the past because of the locations they're at and other things. And so Cub Doug, we always call him, he flies the yellow Cub. He had this relationship with them about a year before this, where he landed in their little pasture or their little meadow out in front of their house.
No. He landed on the side of a hill. It's
like
unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
You said like a meadow, like a vineyard, like an open space. This is not an open space. This is at altitude,
400 feet long.
There you go.
Yeah,
Unreal.
It's small. And so a year before this, he landed there on his own, kind of whim. They waved him, and like we said in our community, if somebody waves at you, either they're friendly or they need help.
Yep.
Both good opportunities.
Yep.
So he landed there, built this relationship with them. Well, it was crazy. A year later, these people are stuck at their home with no support. Mm-hmm. So they tried to call the sheriff department and all that stuff to get supplies, and they said that we'll come get you, but we're going to come get you and take you out. We're not going to leave you there. Well, they're homesteaders. They're not doing that. They got horses and they got animals and they got all this stuff. So anyways, they called Neil out here at the airport, another friend of ours that's in our little Cub gang, and they said, we need help. And he said, well, as long as St. Inez Airport's open and people bring us supplies, you'll be all right. Mm-hmm. From then on out, for the next 6 months, these guys, nobody even knew they were doing it. It was weekends, foggy mornings, afternoons when they had time. They would load their airplanes up with fuel and supplies for the animals.
Bush planes, really.
Our bush. I mean, just one person and full of 50, 60 pounds of stuff.
And dog food.
Yeah. Lots of dog food, horse food, feed for the chickens. I mean, because they live off all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they flew back and forth. These are local business owners. This isn't something they have to do. They were not proving anything. There was no social media presence. There was no.
They were doing it dead silent. They were doing it because someone in our community needed help. There you go.
And the only reason it's not in silence is because of me. I ruined everything.
But you did it after the fact. That's good.
Yeah, a year later we go out.
You were throwing flowers at him, man. Yeah. It's awesome.
So a year later we go out there and we're sitting on the hilltop and they pop some champagne. Nobody drank it because we couldn't because we were flying anyways. But they started telling the stories and I was there and I was like, somebody needs to tell. Like this story needs to get written down, And so I came back and I told them I was like, hey, we need to produce something. Well, we don't really want to. We're pretty private. All this stuff.
Yeah, somebody who's building a homestead is not asking for attention.
They don't. I mean, I'm really surprised that and Brian and Dev, and I mean that was a huge thing for them because to open their homes up and their lifestyle up was huge. We have not been able to release the video or the movie short film publicly yet because we're still running for some film competitions and stuff like that. So, but we've had a couple of viewings and stuff that have been really fun. We've had a really.
Will you please come back on when you can so we can promote it and make sure everybody gets to
everybody
watch
in the
it.
valley needs to see it. It is the valley in a nutshell.
When you showed it to me, I won't say I had a hard time watching it, but my jaw was on the floor. Yeah. Because just the story you were telling right there about people coming to someone's aid, right? Helicopters, planes, dog food, horse food, all coming in to take care of one of our own.
And you know what's crazy? It was for 2 people.
Yeah. Amazing.
I mean, you would expect a story like this for saving 500 people in a town that's cut off, but they did it for 2 people.
That's amazing.
I know.
I mean, I think the not to bookend this and bring it all back around because we could literally talk about this for 5 hours, but when I think of the Kunkles and I think of your family and the legacy and everything that you guys do, right? It is like our family has a creed, which is we live to honor those that have come before us and we prepare the way for those yet to come. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I look for in people that I consider friends is something I greatly admire. Mm-hmm. And I think no family in this valley, I shouldn't say that because there actually are a lot of people in this valley that when the chips are down, when there is a problem, people show up. Mm-hmm. And not only show up, but show up in a way that is overwhelming. Then show up over and over and over again, not asking for recognition, not asking for praise, not doing it for the likes, but doing it because it's the right.
Yep.
And from your grandfather to your father to you, as your friend, man, what a legacy.
I appreciate it.
You if you start off by talking about how your grandfather started in World War II and being there for ribbon cuttings for the 75th and 80th, what your father has done and his legacy, the fact that you are making your name even greater by the things that you're doing in the shadow of those giants is absolutely commendable, admirable, and the Valley is very, very lucky to have your family in it.
I appreciate it, Keith. And it's really a passion. It's really, you know how it is. I mean, all of us are kind of built the same, right? It's like you running out and grabbing your Unimog and going pulling at people out of mud and stuff. We enjoy that stuff. We like to help people. I mean, that's just how we're just all rigged that way. And I really don't have any words because it's just, this is what we do.
Yep. It's weird. I was talking about it with my son today, which we were moving cattle and we were doing this and, things go wrong every single day and you go, ugh, and then you just get, cowboy up and you get to getting it done. Right. Yep. And just driving around with him, I go, Cash, you have 2 goals in life. One is to heap upon yourself as much personal responsibility as you can bear, mm-hmm. and then get stronger, and then take on some more, and you get stronger and take on some more until you become everybody's first phone call.
Yep.
And I know that you are one of those people. I mean, when the fire was happening here and the support that you were giving, not only up at Santa Maria, mm-hmm.
Dealing
with all of the air support that this valley, I mean, let me just throw some more flowers at you. This valley in a crisis, in a fire, like when we were all real nervous, when all the phone calls are going out and when there's no one reporting, right? No one was reporting, and it was you and it was Ryan. It was like people probably who don't want their last names mentioned, right? But it was like I had a text chain. It's like if I would hit you up, you're like, there's 3 incoming.
Yep.
You know, we're refueling this. This is what's happening. The wind's going to shift. This is where the wind's at. This is where they're laying it down. It's like, okay. And then I send that text to 10 people, and they send it to 100, and the valley just took care of itself.
Yep.
Right. And this is that. It is a very difficult place to live. Mm-hmm. It just really is. I mean, we all have to, like we say, dig our own well and rely on your neighbor.
Yep.
And that's the part that makes this valley not only special, but a place that is worth fighting for.
Oh yeah, no, it's it's home.
It is.
Jeez,
there it is.
There's nowhere else in the world that I would want to call home other than here. So.
Well, I think that's a perfect place.
Yeah.
So you have been listening to Chopping It Up with Keith Saarloos and Chris Kunkle of the Kunkle family fame. If you have a kid that is in high school and you don't know where they're going in their life, point them at Chris Kunkle. Point them at the airport.
I'll take them flying. Come see me. Hit me up on Instagram.
There we go.
I'm always down.
Chris is not only a good person, but he is an ambassador for things that he loves. I say to my son all the time, there's only 4 things you have to figure out in life. 1 is what you love. 2 is what you're good at. 3 is what the world needs. And 4 is what it's willing to pay you for. And if all 4 of those things can be one thing, you live in a pretty good life.
Doing all right.
And I'm staring at a guy who does all 4 of those things. This has been Keith Saarloos and Chopping It Up. I hope you enjoyed this. Back to your regularly scheduled music. Enjoy the Saturday, everybody.
Thanks, guys.